career spanning more than 2 decades, Ambassador Thomas Lehmann heads the mission of the nation considered by many the happiest country in the world. So what makes Denmark such a happy place? Let's find out through this week's distinguished guest. Morning Date starts now. Yes, today I have the incredible pleasure of sitting down with none other than the Danish ambassador to Korea, Thomas Lehmann. Well, thank you, sir, for coming to the show.
My pleasure. Thank you so much, Kaylin.
Yes, well, we're very glad to have you on the show, especially we're going to be talking about how to be happy today, I guess.
Good.
네, 오늘 어떻게 하면 행복해질 수 있는지에 대한 이야기 많이 해볼 텐데요. Before the interview, though, let me give our listeners a quiz question. Most of us are familiar with Danish literature. Among the many stories that we know, one about a character living in the sea stands out. Written by Hans Christian Andersen, it is titled The Little What? Is it number 1, Little Mermaid, number 2, Little Mummy, or number 3, Little Peacock? 네, 인어공주의 영어 제목을 찾아주시면 됩니다. So, what is the famous character that lives in the sea, written by Hans Christian Andersen? Is it the little number 1 mermaid, or number 2 mummy, or number 3 peacock? If you know the answer, use our bandi board or KakaoTalk Plus for free, or you can text to pound 1045. 네, 퀴즈의 정답뿐만이 아니라요. 방송 소감이나 궁금한 질문이 있으시면 여러분들 많이 보내주세요. 3분을 뽑아서요. 저희가 특별한 책을 준비했습니다. 황금시간 출판사에서 휘게 라이프스타일 요리책을 보내드리도록 하겠습니다. Yeah, I'm looking at this book right now. And I really want it. It's full of recipes of Danish cuisine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well,
You can look forward to that one.
Very, very much.
It's a very good book.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Well, let's start with the interview now, shall we? I do believe it's been 3 years since you've come to Korea. How was it, or how has it been so far?
Fantastic. I've loved every single day of it. Yes, I came here 3 years ago. I'm here with my family. Mm-hmm. Young daughter, Sophie. She's 2 years old.
Oh,
She was born in Korea.
Really?
Yes.
Does she have a Korean name?
No. But she enjoys her life here in Korea. She loves to run around the different parks and palaces. So she's a great joy of our life.
Yeah, hopefully she'll remember Korea too.
Well, forever, because in her passport it will says, born in Korea.
Wow, that's
So
true.
there you are.
Okay, well, Sophie could be a Korean name. It could, right?
It could be.
Okay. So have you done a lot of traveling in Korea too?
Yes.
Where have you been
My
to?
job takes me almost all around Korea. And for me, it's very important to come out and visit all parts of Korea. Of course, the main part of my job is in the capital of Seoul
Sure.
and the region. But to go to Busan, to go to Daegu, Gwangju, Daejeon, all parts of Korea, Jeju, also one of my favorite places to go. I like that very much, to come out and meet the people and seek, good opportunities for more understanding between Denmark and Korea.
Of course. 한국 여행을 굉장히 많이 하셨는데요. So out of all the places that you've been to, I mean, you did mention Jeju is one of your favorites, but if you had to pick one place, where would you pick?
Well, I think for a Dane, we like the sea. We are very close to the sea.
Of course.
So obviously, Jeju is a favorite. It's a favorite one of mine. But also going to Busan. Busan, where you go and you feel the sea immediately. You smell it.
Sure.
And it's very much part of your everyday life in that part of the country. So being close to sea is something I treasure very much.
Have you had friends over from Denmark too?
Oh yes, family and friends that have come the long way from Europe
Oh.
to visit us here in Korea.
So did you take them to those destinations too?
Yes, we have been to Jeju Island with my family. And also went to the East Coast, to the Sarak Mountains. I like hiking. My family likes hiking. So it's one of the best spots in Korea.
Of course, with the Winter Olympics coming too, right?
And definitely so.
네, 한국 여행을 굉장히 많이 하셨는데 now, then let's go back to Denmark.
Okay.
Are there places that we should go and visit in Denmark? Maybe you can give us recommendation of 3 destinations?
Well, there are many places, but 3 destinations. first one will be Copenhagen. Copenhagen
course.
is the capital city of Denmark. It's a wonderful place. You will find it very cozy and small. It's just 1.5 million people. So compared to Seoul, it might seem very provincial, but it's a very cozy place. An old town, nice restaurants, great atmosphere. And the best thing about Copenhagen is that everything is accessible by bicycle.
By bicycle?
Yes, and actually in Copenhagen you will have more bicycles than people.
Really?
So this is the mean of transportation. So when you go to Copenhagen, the first thing you need to do is grab a bike and look around the city. From that, it's a great way to experience Copenhagen.
That's a bummer for me because I don't know how to ride a bike.
Well, I'm sure you can learn very fast.
Yes.
The second place you should go to is our second largest city. It's called Aarhus. Aarhus is also known for being the city of smiles. So talking about happiness, talking about smiling, this is a place to go. And Aarhus these days also happens to be the capital, the cultural capital of Europe.
Really?
So a lot of cultural activities is taking place in Aarhus, and they're showing the very best of modern contemporary art and Danish culture. So if you're interested in that, definitely go to Aarhus. And then you mentioned Hans Christian Andersen.
Sure.
Well, Hans Christian Andersen was born in a city called Odense. It's in the middle of Denmark. And this is to go and visit his birthplace.
Right.
To the museum of Hans Christian Andersen is something very attractive to many Koreans who travel to Denmark. And if I can just sneak in a fourth one,
Okay.
Legoland.
Legoland.
Legoland, you all know Lego.
Yes, we do.
And you all have played with Lego. Well, the good news is there's a very nice Legoland in Denmark. And actually very soon one to open also in Korea.
Really?
Outside of the city of Chuncheon.
Oh, so how
Legoland.
soon then?
Well, hopefully sometime by next year.
Okay, well, hopefully, yes. 네, 여러분 덴마크 가실 계획이 있으시다면 대사님께서 말씀해주신 수도인 코펜하겐도 좋고요. 오후스가 문화의 중심이라고 하네요. 특히 유럽 전체에서. 그리고 한스 크리스티안 앤더슨의 고향인 오든서에도 가보시면 좋을 것 같습니다. 그 레고랜드 정말 재밌겠네요. Well, it's good news that it's also coming to Korea.
Yes.
We can get a taste of Denmark here in Korea as well.
Well, I think you all grew up with Lego, and
Yes.
and Lego is the biggest toy brand in the world. So there's very much to look forward to.
Of course. Well, now let's move on to culture and customs then.
Yes.
As we're talking about Legoland and also the Culture Center for Smiles in Aarhus. Well, the culture of Northern Europe is widely known worldwide, right? So can you tell us briefly about what makes the lifestyle in Northern Europe stand out compared to the other regions?
Well, I think there are many things that makes the lifestyle in Northern Europe special. First of all, we have what you will term, I think, a very good work-life balance. So yes, people work, but they don't necessarily work as much as you do in this part of the world.
So what does a normal work day look like? What time do you go to work? And
Well,
get
you
off
would
work?
have usually a work from 9 to 4.
9 to 4?
9 to 4, so 37 hours per week will be the usual term, and people stick to that. They are efficiently enough, so they finish their work at 4 o'clock, they go home and they spend time with their family and friends or do some leisure activities. So the work-life balance in Northern Europe, in Scandinavia, in the Nordic countries, Denmark specifically, is very important. And it's also very meaningful for our way of life and, our understanding of happiness.
Right.
I think you need, in order to be happy, you also need the time to actually spend with your family and friends. So work-life balance is important. I think when you visit our countries, you will also get an impression that we are very informal.
Sure.
Very relaxed. Informal, not taken in the wrong way, but informal means that people are very open,
Right.
easy to talk to, and has a relaxed way about it. So you will experience that.
Yeah, as I am experiencing it right now.
Good.
Yes. Well, now talking about food.
Yes.
What's your favorite Korean food?
Well, there are many dishes. Actually, we have not so far from where we live. We have a small Korean place, and they serve a very nice samgyetang, and we've come to love that. So samgyetang is a favorite of mine, but also I must say the Korean barbecue, the thing that you share a meal in Korea. I like that approach to dining and to eating very much. That you have, different dishes and you share it and you cook together. That appeals to me. I like bibimbap. I like the colors of bibimbap when you have it served. It's a wonderful, wonderful dish.
서양에서는 보통 나만의 그 메뉴를 시키잖아요. 내가 혼자 먹는 그 음식을 시키는데 우리나라에서는 이렇게 서로 나눠서 먹잖아요. 같은 찌개도 같이 숟가락을 넣어서 먹고 그런 문화가 저도 한국의 문화가 좋습니다. Well, what about Danish food? I think we're very familiar with Danish pastries.
Yes, and of course, going to Denmark and visiting Copenhagen and other cities, the first thing you will stumble over is our big amount of bakeries.
It's so delicious.
Bakeries on every single street corner. And the smell from these bakeries are just astonishing. So go and visit a bakery, try the pastry, but also buy some rye bread. Rye bread is to Danes as rice is to Koreans. We eat it with every single meal. Rye bread is the black brown bread. It's very healthy. It's a lot of fibers.
Right.
And so you should definitely try that out. And that's also rye bread is the main ingredient in, I would say, perhaps our most famous dish, the open sandwich.
The open sandwich.
The open sandwich. And the open sandwich consists of a piece of rye bread. And then you have a variety of different toppings you put on. It can be, and their imagination has no limit. So it can be everything from egg, pork, all kind of delicate things, even some leftovers that you might have had from the day before. So the open sandwich is a must-try dish in Copenhagen and in other cities.
Then
it's very, very decorative.
Yeah,
and
you'll
very
probably
tasteful.
need a fork and a knife then, instead of using your hands, right?
Definitely you need a knife and a fork. And, you can learn and you can read much more about it in this beautiful giveaway book.
That's right.
So it's just about get cracking with your Danish open sandwiches.
Of course. 네, 여러분 다음에 덴마크에 가실 때는요, 데니시 페이스트리도 드셔보시지만 대사님께서 말씀해주신 호밀빵과 또 오픈 샌드위치도 드셔보시는 것도 좋을 것 같습니다. Well, before we move on, let me remind you of the quiz question we had, and also reminding of the prize, which is the book. Most of us are familiar with Danish literature. Among the many stories that we know, one about a character living in the sea stands out, of course, written by Hans Christian Andersen. It is The Little What? Is it number 1, mermaid, number 2, mummy, or number 3, peacock? If you know the answer, use our bandi board or KakaoTalk Plus for free, or you can text to pound 1045. 네, 그리고 정답뿐만이 아니라 방송 소감이나 궁금한 질문이 있으면 여러분들 많이 보내주세요. 세 분을 뽑아서 황금시간 출판사에서 휘게 라이프스타일 요리책을 보내드리겠습니다. Well, I believe you requested for a song today. It's by Lucas Graham.
He's a great star in Denmark, but also worldwide.
Yeah, and he's coming to Korea soon.
He's coming to Korea at the end of after the summer.
Of course. 네, 2017 지산밸리 락 페스티벌에 초청된 루커스 그레이엄의 노래 듣도록 하겠습니다. Here is 7 Years. You're listening to Morning Special on EBS FM, and we're back with our conversation with Danish ambassador Thomas Lehmann. Now, talking about Denmark again, I mentioned many times that it's the country that is known for being happy, right? I've checked lists, and even in 2017, I think Norway was number 1, and Denmark still number 2. Right? It's been in the top 10 or even top 5
yes, we topped
for
the list
many
for many
years. Yeah. 일과 삶의 균형이 또 행복의 큰 요건이라고 아까 말씀해 주셨지만 I would like to know, what other reasons are there for making Denmark such a happy country?
Well, I think there are many reasons, but let me just highlight, I think, what the two main things. One being we have a high level of trust in our society. Not only trust among people, but also trust to authorities, trust, neighbors and friends. And so there's a high degree of trust among people. And I think that's very important. It's important because it makes you feel secure. And another thing that makes you feel secure in Denmark is our very extensive welfare system.
Right.
You don't have to worry in Denmark about growing up. You don't have to worry about education because it's free.
Wow.
So education is free. We even pay our students to be students. So they receive, a government-sponsored grant. You don't have to worry and feel insecure about getting sick or ill because we have a free healthcare service.
That's awesome.
So it's universal and it covers everyone. And you don't have to worry about getting unemployed because we have a very good system giving you an unemployment benefit, but also getting you back into training so that you can get a new job as quickly as possible. And then when you grow old, yes, you have a decent pension, also a government paid pension system. So all of this welfare state, high level of trust, all of that, I believe, make Danes feel very secure in their life. They don't feel stress in the same way. So with that, they can also enjoy and be more happy in their life.
인간에 대한 믿음, 특히 뭐 정치뿐만이 아니라 뭐 그냥 내 옆에 이웃에 대한 믿음, 이게 이제 내가 안전하다라는 그런 의식을 갖게 해주고 또 덴마크의 복지 시스템, 뭐 교육, 건강, 취업, 노후 이게 다 걱정할 필요가 없대요. 저도 이런 국가에서 살아보고 싶네요. 그냥 it sounds like an ideal country.
Well, I mean, Denmark is a beautiful country and it's a lovely country to live in. It has a very high quality of life. Go to Copenhagen, you will hardly have any air pollution. Our water is clean. We care for the environment. If you want, you can take a swim in Copenhagen Harbor in the middle of the city. So Denmark is a green nation, and a nation that believes in sustainability and environmental protection. We have a high degree of renewable energy in our energy mix. So we very much care for climate and environment.
Yeah. And talking about happiness and all that you just mentioned, we cannot leave out the culture of, okay, I'm going to try to pronounce this correctly.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Hygge.
Hygge.
Hygge. Okay.
Hygge. You did very well, Kaylee.
Thank you. I think in Korean it's hygge, right?
Yes.
And that's actually the book that we're giving out, Hygge Lifestyle Yuri, right? But yeah, tell us more about this culture.
Well, hygge, I think is interesting. It's a new kind of trendy word around the globe.
Very trendy.
I think it was even put in one of the big dictionaries now. But hygge is part of our lifestyle. For me, hygge can be interpreted in many ways. But for me, at least, hygge is to be with other people, to have a social gathering, togetherness is important. And creating a very nice atmosphere. So being with friends and family in a nice, relaxed surrounding is for me a hygge time.
I see. If I'm wrong, you can tell me that I'm wrong. But, from what I've researched,
Yes.
I feel like hygge is about simplicity of life.
Yes.
Right?
That's right. I mean, hygge is not something you go out and buy. You don't go in the supermarket and buy a piece of hygge. You enjoy it and you have to create it yourself. But of course, you also need time.
Of course.
To have hygge. If you work, 24/7, or if you work very hard and have very long hours, it will be more difficult for you to enjoy it because it's very much about being together with other people and being together with your family and friends, and you need time for that. And as we talked about earlier, work-life balance in Denmark, very important.
I think a Korean term will be well-being life. 우리도 well-being 하잖아요. 그게 희귀하고 잘 이렇게 들어맞는 그런 표현인 것 같은데 삶의 질이 높으면 휘게 라이프를 즐길 수 있는 것 같습니다. Right? The quality of life has to be high for hygge life.
Well, I think everyone's experienced hygge life, and I mean, we don't have a patent of being, happy and enjoy hygge life in Denmark. You do it all over the world, including in Korea.
That's
You
true.
just have to find your own way of doing it. And if you want to know more, the good news is that we have a lot of books actually on the market here in Korea
Right.
about hygge life, about how you enjoy hygge parenting, about how you enjoy hygge cooking. So there is a wide variety of things to study more and to get inspired from. And I can highly recommend that.
Okay, so if we learn about hygge, then maybe we'll be as happy as the Danish people. Maybe one day South Korea will be ranked number 1 to be the happiest country in the world.
Well, I think you have very good possibilities and you have very good fundamentals to do it.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Well, before you go,
Yes.
we have a question that we ask here on Morning Special to all of our guests. It's a 나에겐 뭐뭐란 question. So it's a common question here in Korea and here on the show that we ask about a person's significance of his or her dream, passion, and current job. So, Ambassador Lehmann, what is happiness to you? 대사님께 행복이란?
Well, happiness to me in Korea is to be with my family and my young daughter. We spend time together, and that is, quality family time is hygge happiness for me.
Yeah, I don't remember when I had a conversation with my father. This is very sad. So, inspired by you, 오늘은 제가 가서 아버지에게 전화 한 통화를 꼭 해드려야 하겠습니다.
So very important, spend time with your children.
And your parents.
And your parents, but spend time with your family and be with them.
Okay. Well, I think you were a great motivation for our listeners and also myself today. Thank you for taking your time out to come
No,
here.
my pleasure, Kaylin.
Yes, thank you. Oh,
It was wonderful.
Oh, yes, it was wonderful. And we had the answer to the quiz question. The famous story about a character living in the sea is Little Mermaid, right? So number
Indeed.
1 was the correct answer. Please come check our website to see if you're the winner. 네, 오늘의 선물은 황금시간 출판사에서 보내는 휘게 라이프스타일 요리책입니다. 저희 세 분께 보내드리니까요. 모닝스페셜 홈페이지에 방문해 주시기 바랍니다.
And let me tell you that this Little Mermaid is actually here in Seoul.
Really?
Yes.
Where?
So go to the Yeouido Hangan Park.
Oh, yes.
Go to the Yeouido Hangan Park. There you will find a small copy of the Little Mermaid sitting there looking out over the Han River.
Really?
So it's a wonderful place for families to go there and enjoy. And it's one of my favorite places in Seoul. Yeouido Hangan Park. Don't forget that one.
Okay. 휘게 라이프스타일을 위해서 저 여의도 한강공원 꼭 가겠습니다. Thank you so much for coming today once again.
My
and
pleasure.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see you soon.
I will hope to come back to your show. It's a wonderful show, so I want to thank all the listeners and also for you to invite me on this morning special show.
Thank you.
I'm very happy to come back again. And should you out there want to know more about Denmark, don't hesitate to check us out on Facebook or on our Twitter. And you can know much more about Denmark and also what I do in my job as an ambassador.
All right. Well, thank you so much. We'll see you again.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.